What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the Russell 2000, ticker symbol IWM. We're going to be looking at the weekly chart here. And we're going to be talking about how this perfectly lines up with my high five setup, my personal trading strategy that I've been calling out names like SoFi, Tesla, Amazon, Mobileye, and so many others, honestly. So many others that have just been continuing to be successful and winning a winning strategy over and over again. And I will continue to prove this and show this through charting and videos and write-ups about different stocks that my strategy are lining up on. So what the high five strategy is and the high five setup, if you're new here, it's essentially having a charting pattern of some sort. Typically you would like a breakout and a breakout, then a retest, and then confirmation higher. A volume gap on your volume profile, an uptrending MACD, an uptrending RSI, and an uptrending trend. When you get all 5 of these factors, you have a high 5 setup. When you get in the opposite direction, you get a low 5 setup. And as of right now on the Russell 2000, we have a high 5 setup. So this can also be said for TNA, which is a was it three-time levered ETF on TNA. If you wanted to play this name, the moves in this IWM Russell 2000 ETF is going to be they're going to be a little smaller. We see 14% and 33%. They're going to be a little bit smaller due to just the sheer size of it, but everybody's talking about all these other stocks that are running and after hours and everything. And obviously, we don't know who the next president of the United States is, but it's looking like it's going to be Donald Trump. That could change, but it is highly leaning towards Donald Trump. And the thing no one's really talking about or understands is that last time he was president, small caps absolutely just ran crazy and just demolished in the market. And I think looking at this setup prior to market open tomorrow is very key in being prepared for what we might see, or maybe even getting in a little early before the crowd starts rushing into this ETF, the Russell 2000 leveraged ETFs of the Russell 2000, or just small caps in general. So let's get into it. As you can see on the chart, we have this massive cup and handle. We had this false breakout right here, and then a move lower. And then we formed our cup. We came up, had a rejection at or near the same point, came back down, formed this handle, and now if we zoom in, are back up, moving into this high. We also have an ascending triangle pattern where we have multiple touches on both lines, and we are coming into that at the same point that we would be coming into the breakout of said cup and handle pattern. And it is a multi-year cup and handle pattern, about 3 years old. We have a volume gap up here. So a volume shelf and a volume gap here. Our measured move on our symmetrical triangle, or our ascending triangle, is going to be $258.61 for a 14% move. And that move would take place in essentially, let's see, 100 to 126 days, I would say. I think we're going to get it pretty soon, though. So I would say closer to 110, 115 days. We would get that move, and then we would also have a nice breakout upwards here of about 34% to around $306 on this ETF. Now let's get into our indicators that go along with our high five setup. So first up, our first indicator is going to be our MACD. We continue to climb up, making higher highs along the way. We did cross MACD over the signal line to the downside bearish right here, but it was only for a split second. And we have now reclaimed um, that downward move to an upward move, and we're back on a bullish trajectory. Next, we have our RSI. I'm going to zoom in here on the RSI. If you just look at it from the bottom, we clearly have this move upward, continuing higher on the RSI. We have RSI purple over RSI moving average yellow, which is a bullish indicator. That is our fourth of our 5. And finally, we have our trend continuing higher, higher lows. It's late, guys. Higher lows, and now coming up to out of the sweet spot into the overextended area, but the overextended area shouldn't be taken too much into consideration, as this can just move in here sideways and continue higher on the stock price. So don't take too much consideration into it. And what I like to do is, once I get this pullback right here, I like to draw a box up here. And essentially this is going to be my pullback area. Usually it's the 80 line, but if I get this little pullback right before we reach up into the 80 line, I'll give it that extra buffer to where if we break down below this 80 line and below this box, essentially you just create this box here and on the Williams R and on your RSI when you get up in these territories. And essentially you're creating this box, and if you get a breakdown underneath that and 2 of the 4 indicators that we're looking at, then it's time to exit the position and save face essentially. So put that back. So yes, we have all 5 of the setup, and then a little bit of a bonus. We have our Williams R that I consistently talk about. I feel like I'm the biggest promoter of the Williams R, if I'm being honest. I just talk about this. I just talk about this indicator so much, and it's all for a reason. If you've heard my analysis before, this indicator is so key in being able to call tops and bottoms and getting in before a big a rip higher in a bottoming out company, or potentially getting out of your trade before you're about to get just absolutely turned on 180'd on whenever it's about to go against you. So it really helps in that aspect. So we have this pullback right here. And as you can see, like I said, you draw the box to the pullback you feel comfortable with. Well, we continued higher here. We came up here, broke over the negative, the 20 line, and then we came back down here, and now we're breaking over again. So I drew my box. You could have drew it up here to this bottom, but I'm gonna draw it down here. Give myself that extra buffer, just because I also have very high conviction that due to what's happening with the election, that these things, small caps are gonna just run crazy. So give myself that little extra buffer. And like I said, if 2 or more of these go against me, I will exit my trade. I am not in IWM or TNA or anything like that. I might look into some TNA to get into here tomorrow morning, but at this time I'm not. But and you all don't have to be in this either. But one thing, like I showed you with the Qs and calling this bottom right here, and now having a higher low and continuing higher, and what I believe we're going to continue even higher than that. And I literally called this bottom on Halloween, and now we've been about 3% higher since then. Not just that, but I also am calling for all-time highs this week. And with that, I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to get to all-time highs this week, which would be an absolutely epic call, because on Halloween I called for all-time highs this week. and I called it last week. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that, but it's all because of the Williams R. It's all because of my strategy. It's all because of the indicators that I'm using and how I have them set up, and my setups and my strategies. Like, it's crazy. Like, I just keep calling tops and bottoms. And if I'm able to get this correct on all-time highs on the QQQ with a week out call, which I don't play calls like that. I don't play options like that. I do minimum 2 months out, just because I just it's just they're just not for me in less than 2 months. I don't like looking at things that finite. I looking at things more longer term. But yeah, if we get that, it's gonna be crazy, crazy exciting. But yeah, so we have this Williams R, and like I said, we're just gonna kind of hang out here, and you should be looking at this stuff because it's important for if you're holding small caps. The QQQ is important if you're holding big tech, obviously, so on and so forth. So you shouldn't just look at the stock that you're in. You should also be looking at the setup of the indexes and where they're going and what they're telling us, right? Because when we do get that point where I'm sitting here and I'm saying, "Hey guys, I called that bottom on QQQ." Well, I'm kind of calling a top here. Once we get that top call, that's when things are going to get um, a little crazy, right? Because then you're not gonna. Then, for me personally, I'm gonna be exiting out of a lot of my positions when I do that top call and just in a wait and see moment. But we aren't there. We were trending higher on the weekly. Williams R. We got to our box. We made this bottom right here, and now we're just gonna trend sideways as we continue higher to all-time highs. And I have my first price target up to 560 here. So I think my end of year 2025 price target is gonna be 560. So yeah, that's all I got. That was IWM, Russell 2000, TNA, all the same. Obviously, they just move in different increments on the price, but all the same charts, all the same similarities and everything. So I appreciate all of you guys, and appreciate all the love and support. We are so close to 1,000 followers. It's crazy. I'm literally looking at it. We're 4 away from 1K friends and followers, and I'm just super excited about this community and the path forward and the future to come for us all. So thank you all. Love you all. Have a great night. Get some sleep. We got a busy day tomorrow of some earnings in the morning with Celsius, and just I think the market's gonna be crazy fun tomorrow. So I will see you in the next one. Have a great night.